Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And so we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew this blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the give segment of our app at New Life-Delaware, and those of you who have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at newlifeministriesinternational.com and newlifeinternationalcdc.com, and those of you that are using the QR code or the link that are posted on Facebook and on YouTube, we thank you for your continued support as we, and your commitment, as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. I want to remind all of our listeners and viewers that we are Facebook Live, we are YouTube Live, we are RadioFreeNetwork.com Live. If you go to RadioFreeNetwork.com, click on radio, the drop box will appear. Click on the New Life link. Every broadcast will be available to you. And while you are there, click on WKAP for our internet radio station, WKAP Faith Empowerment Radio, where we play music 24 hours a day that will encourage you, empower you, and inspire you to become the best version of ourselves that we can possibly become. And you can stay connected with us throughout the week, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year at WKAPfaith.com. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you work hard to be successful. And even though success is coming slow, you still believe that you will get there. And you want to know, how do you increase your faith? So that's an interesting statement that you made when you, or question that you asked. How can you increase your faith? So you have it really in your spirit when you realize that success will continue to come. It is a process. Success for some comes slower than others because there's development that has to occur along the way. But what we have to be mindful of, and this is in response to your question, that God gives to every man, woman, and child according to their measure of faith. According to the measure of faith. Just how much faith do you have? So you're asking the right question. How do you increase your faith? Faith without work is just hope. You know, the Bible says faith without work is dead. And what that means is that we have to continue working. We have to, watch this, we have to work hard, and we have to work smart. We have to work effectively, and we have to work efficiently. And then we have to be diligent. We have to be diligent in our work and continue working every single day, maximizing every hour of every day and every minute of every day. Now you might say, well, Pastor, there's going to be some minute creeps that are going to creep out. Minutes where I'm not going to do something that is going to lead to success. Well, when those moments occur, rest in those moments, but don't make those moments become minutes that turn into days and then turn into weeks. We want to make certain that we are creating action. There's a book in the Bible, the book of Acts. If you look throughout that entire book of Acts, there's action occurring because God is a God of action. Think about this. Even when God created the heavens and the earth, watch this. In 6 days, he created all of this. On the seventh day, he rested. There is going to be a time to rest in the Lord. However, we should be working, the Bible tells us, from sun up to sundown, from the rising of the sun until the going down of the same. So we should be working. Think about this. 12 hours a day are going to be spent in some form of business. So, I've often used the analogy that there are 5 segments to business, and there are. There's administrative, development, there's management, there's marketing, there's operations. So that's 5 segments, 2 hours a day. And that's 10 hours right there of work time. Now, some people may have an hour of commute, so that each way, so that's going to take the other 2 hours. But in that, you should be diligently thinking about what it is that God wants to accomplish in you from a business perspective. If you don't have that commute, if you're able to work from home, then those other 2 hours you may spend, and I don't want to go into the next communication, but I want to say this. We have to spend time researching. We have to spend time looking at ways that we can become a better version of ourselves. That requires faith. It requires faith for you to want to become a better version of yourself. So that's part of increasing your faith, is continue working diligently, working, seeking God's face. What is it, God, that you want to do in me and through me? So that's going to be part of increasing your faith. Now, obviously, you can increase your faith also by how much time you spend with God. You can increase your faith by spending more time in meditation, meditating on God's word, not just what is written, but what's been spoken to your spirit. But meditation, you can increase your faith by reading the scriptures continuously on a daily basis. You can increase your faith by increasing your prayer life. There are many ways to increase your faith. And then after you've done those things, you have to put some work into it. You have to put some work into your faith, because when you put work into your faith is increased and your blessings are increased. Your success is increased, because remember, God gives to every man, woman, and child according to their measure of faith. So as your faith continues to grow, so does your success, the blessings of God. So we all have to continuously work to increase our faith. But it requires work. The interesting thing is that God told us, from the sweat of our brow we shall work. In other words, it's going to be hard, but we have to be willing. Everyone's not out, digging a cable line, digging a hole for cable lines. Everyone's not out sweating in that form. But if you're working in an office environment that has some air conditioning on a daily basis, there's going to be some sweat in that also, because there's going to be mental work that has to be done. So everything involves work. Increasing our faith is not some mystical, magical thing. It requires work. Watch this. It's by our faith that we're saved. Our faith in Christ that we're saved. That required work. It didn't require as much work from us as it did from Christ, because he died on the cross. But we have to put some work into, okay, I accept that Christ died for my sins. And because I accept that, I'm going to be responsible for every drop of blood that he shed for me. And the way that I'm going to be responsible is becoming the best version of me that I can possibly become. I'm going to become a better Christian. I'm going to become a more committed Christian. I'm going to be a diligent Christian who is giving an example to others that there's a better way to live this life. So all of this is about work. Even the Bible said, work out your salvation. All of this requires some work. And to increase our faith, it requires us to take action. It requires us to work. And you said success has been slow coming, but you are convinced that it will come. That's a good thing, because you first have to have the faith. Then you have to have a strategic plan for success. You have to execute that plan. You have to put that plan in action. And you have to believe that in the end, if you do good work, you will get good results. That's just the bottom line. The more work you put into it, the better the results are going to be. And the more success you're going to experience. So just continue. The first thing you did was put the work in to phrase the question, how can I increase my faith? That took work. Now you've got to work out what's been shared. You've got to continue to increase your faith by doing all of those things that have just been discussed. Increase your meditation. Increase your prayer life. Increase your time with the Lord, the reading of his word. Increase your work ethic. You increase your skill set. All of those things will increase your faith, because you will continue to see God moving in your life. And when God is moving in your life, success is going to come, because in order to get to the fullness of God in that spiritual realm, we have to have success in the physical realm. No, you don't have to be successful to give your life over to the Lord. You don't have to be successful to accept that Christ died for you. You don't have to be successful to get saved. But in order to enter into the fullness of God, you have to have some success. There's a direct correlation between the two. Because what God is doing in the spiritual realm, you can't see in the physical realm. What you can see is the manifestation of your work in the physical realm, because God will continue to enlarge your coast. He'll continue to bless you over and over again. Expand your blessings. But God will only give to you according to your measure of faith. So as your faith increases, so will your blessings and your benefits. And we want to enter into the fullness of God, so we want to make certain that you experience the success in the physical realm that God has appointed for your life, and that you begin to maximize that success. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you're not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you had a great plan for your family to go into business together. However, not one other person in the family took an interest in the opportunity. Okay, so here's what you need to know. First of all, the reason that they did not take an interest in exploring the opportunity is because, first and foremost, no one else is ready. You were trying to include the family, but they're not prepared for this. You're prepared for this. You've got to know that if God wanted someone else on this journey with you, He would have inspired them to, and revealed to them, so that they would understand the importance of pursuing this opportunity. So let me tell you what God has shown me in that secret place of your life. So you have a good plan, and your plan was you were going to start this business, and you were going to bring in the family and have people work different shifts based on their current occupation. That's a good plan. You were going to break it up so that, and it's a franchise business, so, you were going to have those who are working in, shift hours, you were going to have them continue in their full-time jobs and come in and work 4 hours in the business. And those who work 9 to 5, you were going to have them come in and work in the evening, and you had a really good plan. Nobody wanted to explore that opportunity with you because their mind is not on business. Their mind is on doing what they want to do. And so consequently, here you are with this plan, but you don't have anyone else to help you execute from the family. So what that implies is that you're going to have to take your time and open your business yourself. You've got a good opportunity here. And you're going to have to hire people. Just as any other employer does, you're going to have to hire people to work in the business. And once you have started the company, do not allow family members to then want to join in. If they want a part-time job, give them a part-time job. What you were asking everyone to do was pull their resources together so that everyone could invest for an equal share in the business. That was a great plan. Some of this you didn't say in your communication, but I got it. That's a great plan. You wanted everyone to put an equal share into the business, and you wanted everyone to work an equal share in the business, except yourself. You were willing to work a full shift because you have a little more flexibility. But everyone gave you their own reasons for why they weren't available to, invest in the business. Everyone gave you their own reasons for why they didn't want to work part-time in the business. They're not ready. They're not ready to be business owners because they want to do what they want to do. That's not conducive for starting a business. When you start a business, you've got to be all in. Now, let me say this to you. That doesn't mean that you don't have some diversification. That doesn't mean that you can't get some other things done, like, for example, investing. It doesn't mean that you can't, do some things that will allow you a little diversification. What it does mean is you got to be willing to show up every day. You got to be willing to put in some capital if you're going to be an owner. And you've got to be willing to put some sweat equity into the business. That means you got to show up every day. And you got to be willing to show up no matter what the schedule is. You got to be willing to show up and put some sweat equity into this business to make it a success. Now, you're willing to do that. But take your time, take the necessary steps to put everything in place to get a really sound infrastructure, and you have some flexibility. So you know that you can show up every day. You know that you can show up every day. You might not be able to show up you might not be able to show up on the weekends as often as you would like to, but you can be there every day. But you know your schedule Monday through Friday. So you know that you can be there to open up. You know that but you're gonna have to hire employees. That's just the bottom line. But you gotta get your infrastructure sound first. You gotta make sure that you take all of the necessary steps. If you're gonna open a business, go and get a table at a job fair. Go and, there are things that you can do. Market for hiring, right? You've got to get everything sound first, and while you're doing that, you can start talking to people and get a feel for the type of employees you want to have on your team so that your business can be successful. You're going to need to do that. And fortunately enough for you, you have the flexibility in your schedule to be able to do things that it's going to be a lot of work. But you'll be able to continue doing what you're doing right now and open the franchise. Be there. It's going to be long hours for you. Between working and running your business, your schedule's going to be packed. But it'll be worth it in the end. It'll be worth it to you. You will have the opportunity to grow a business that will allow you to be successful. And for that, to God be the glory. You just got to know that family is not always ready. We love family, but family is not always ready to go through the door with you. Door number 1, door number 2, door number 3. You get to decide what door you're going to go through. And sometimes, because there's doors of opportunity, they may be focused on something else. They're not ready to do what God has called you to do. But this will be a blessing. I can assure you this will be a blessing. It's just going to be a lot of work. You'll be able to do it. And God will bless your work, and, as I said in the last communication, and your faith to believe that God has something more in store for you. This segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by PorscheAmerica.com. If you are in the market for one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured, go to PorscheAmerica.com. You will find online the opportunity to identify the type of Porsche that you would like to own and be able to assist in actually selecting color, selecting performance, selecting models. You get the opportunity to build out your own Porsche at PorscheAmerica.com. And if you're in our area, if you're in the market for one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured, go to Porsche of Delaware, PorscheDelaware.com, and contact the dealership. Ask to speak to General Manager Mike Didio, or go in, stop in at their beautiful showroom at Porsche of Delaware. Ask to speak to Mike Didio, General Manager, Porsche of Delaware, one of our sponsors for our annual golf tournament, Porsche of Delaware. And if you currently own a Porsche and just are in need of service, contact the dealership, PorscheDelaware.com. Contact them, ask to speak to Mike Adams, Service Manager of Porsche of Delaware. They will schedule an appointment for you. They will drop off a loaner, pick up your vehicle at your home or office, and return the vehicle to you when it has been serviced. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that things have been going extremely well in your life. At this point, you are on automatic pilot. And the reason is because you do not want to mess things up. However, you do not want to become stagnant. So you want to know, how can you prevent yourself from becoming stagnant without messing things up? So listen, the good news is that you've been on automatic pilot, which means you're still in motion. Things are still moving forward, but you are just not taking over the controls. And what that really means to me is this: that you understand what you're doing right now, and you're able to do it without a lot of difficulty, because you have a lot of moving parts, but you're able to get a lot accomplished, and everything's been going really well, and you haven't hit any turbulence, and so you've been on automatic pilot. Okay. But the reason you've been on automatic pilot is not good. You're concerned that you're going to mess something up. That's not the problem. You're not going to mess anything up. You got to understand, God is in control of all things. But you don't want to become, and you are correct, you do not want to become stagnant. So there are moments in the cycle like this. You say it's automatic pilot. You know, you're also resting in the Lord. But in order to prevent yourself from becoming stagnant, you've got to research and analyze the next steps. You've got to, I talked about meditating. You want to meditate. Really, ask God, what is it, God, that you want to do in me and through me? But you've got to do some research also. You've got to really research how you can become the best version of yourself. How can you improve in every area of what you're doing? It takes research, it takes analysis, if you have the opportunity to pause during the course of your day and really research each segment of what you're responsible for in your business, in your company. Research every segment. Analyze. What can I do better? This is one of the things I tell people all the time. If you want to get a promotion, for example, pull your job description and do your job. That's the first thing. But then pull the job description of the job you want and begin learning how to do that job. And learn how to do it to the best of your ability so that you can continue moving forward, continue making progress. You're going to be fine. It's, to God be the glory, things are going extremely well right now, because there's always going to be moments of turbulence in life, because life happens to us all. But to God be the glory, things are extremely well for you right now. Just look, start researching and analyzing, and then implementing what you find that you can implement after doing the research and analysis, and you won't become stagnant. Today's Daily Divine Direction Broadcast 3D has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses